What's the story, everyone? Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. I hope the form is well. I hope the form is good. The news broke yesterday that Brian Cody has stepped down as Kilkenny senior hurling manager. The man who has been the front runner for this Kilkenny side as manager in the last 24 years. 24 years in charge of this Kilkenny senior hurling side. I mean, that is absolutely incredible. 11 All-Irelands, 18 Leinster titles, 10 National Hurling Leagues. Absolutely incredible, unbelievable, and certainly a legacy that will go on and on forever and will be unrivaled in my opinion. I don't think anyone will ever top the legacy that is Brian Cody in my opinion. I just don't see it. I don't see that longevity in managers anymore. I know John Kiely's won 4 All-Irelands with Limerick in his 6 years that he's been there, you know, but it's just incredible. It's absolutely unbelievable. And as always, I'm here anytime there's, you know, big news in the GAA or anything big that's happened. We look at social media, we have a look at the Twitter reactions, we have a look at what people are saying on the world that is Twitter. And certainly a lot of interesting tweets from former players, journalists, and even the Taoiseach himself. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Owen Larkin says, first of all here, Brian Cody, where do you want your statue? And it's a great point. I think there will be a statue of Brian Cody. You know, it'll be interesting to see where they put the statue. I mean, I'd imagine maybe probably outside Nolan Park or something like that. I mean, to be honest, I nearly feel like they should have one outside Crow Park, really, you know, for everything he's given to Kilkenny and for the GAA in general. Like, not only is he a Kilkenny legend, but for me, he's a hurling legend, you know, and, you know, foremost and whatever. Like, you know, obviously, first of all, he's a Kilkenny legend, but second of all, he's a hurling legend. And, you know, personally, I think they should put a statue outside Crow Park of Brian Cody for what he's achieved, or potentially even in the museum. Look, it'll be probably a while away yet before they do that. If they ever do that, I don't know. But yeah, undoubtedly Brian Cody is getting a statue somewhere in Kilkenny, make no mistake about that. GAA Statsman says, what a man, what a manager, what a legend for the 24 years in management, for the team between 2006 and 2015, for his constant dedication to the game of hurling. Thank you, Brian Cody. Where does he rank in terms of GO GAA managers? Well, I suppose first of all, to answer that question, he's number one, and he's unrivaled right now in my opinion. Like Jim Gavin, Mick O'Dwyer, Sean Boylan, managers that have come very close, you know, and obviously the achievement of Jim Gavin winning 5 in a row, and you look at what Mick O'Dwyer achieved with Kerry as manager, and obviously what he's done with Laois, Wicklow, Kildare. He's achieved a lot, obviously a manager with several different counties, and you know, I think Mickey Hart's in the conversation. I think John Kiely right now is in the conversation, but I don't think any of them compare to Brian Cody, because he's done it for 24 years and he's done it with several different teams. Like he's had to recycle that team on numerous occasions. He's won 11 All-Irelands, 18 Leinster titles, and even in the years where they've struggled or maybe haven't been at their best, they've still won Leinster titles, they've still won National Leagues, they've still been there or thereabouts, or made it to All-Ireland finals or semi-finals, you know. So for me, he goes down as the greatest manager in Gaelic Games history, make no mistake about that. And as Matthew of the GAA Statsman said here, I mean, absolute GOAT, make no mistake about it, and iconic manager that will live long in the memory, make no mistake about that. Henry Shefflin says, end of an era, memories which will be treasured forever, best wishes, Brian. Yeah, great to see Henry obviously paying tribute to Brian Cody. Obviously, you know, I think a lot of people obviously are looking at the sort of rift between the two, or is there a rift, or are we making more out of it? I don't know, but obviously we've seen the sort of handshake scenario between Henry Shefflin and Brian Cody this season, obviously in the Leinster round robin and also in the Leinster final. But of course they do have massive respect for each other. I mean, Henry Shefflin's been, you know, the linchman of Kilkenny's success obviously down the years, and Brian Cody's obviously been the man that spearheaded that and been the man that's been the manager, of course. And Shefflin's been, you know, probably Brian Cody's best player, you could say, alongside DJ Kerry. You know, but yeah, undoubtedly, look, at the end of the day, you know, I think there's a lot of respect there, and it's good to see Henry Shefflin paying that respect. Be interesting to see, does he turn his back on Galway? Does he do a Liam Cahill on it and go to Kilkenny? It would certainly be a little bit controversial in some ways if he did so. Be interesting to see if he's approached Personally, I don't know if he will. Like 1 year at Galway, I think that Kilkenny job's always going to be there, in my opinion. But it's going to be interesting to see nonetheless. But yeah, interesting to see Henry Shefflin putting a tweet out there. Obviously, the response is quite interesting. But yeah, you know, good to see him paying that respect towards the greatest manager of all time in Brian Cody. Damien Lawler says Brian Cody's 24-year reign as Kilkenny Senior Hurling Championship manager is over. Cody can reflect on 11 All-Ireland wins, 18 Leinster Championships and 10 National Leagues. Evan McKenna says Brian Cody, the GAA's Alex Ferguson, ruthless, brutal, cold, a taskmaster of unreal standards and the ultimate winner, and I bet he won't be fully appreciated in Kilkenny and beyond until the longing of hindsight kicks in, as much as he's appreciated now. John Duggan says, well, that was a fun day on the radio, was ringside throughout the whole Kilkenny era, and Brian Cody is unquestionably the greatest GAA manager we have seen. 11 All-Ireland titles, some breathtaking performances and matches, honesty, work rate, hurling, fair play, Brian. And yeah, like, let me know for people who are watching in the comments down below. I mean, what is your favourite Brian Cody moment, or, you know, what's your favourite sort of Brian Cody performance? I mean, you look at 2009, obviously the performance in that final when they blew Waterford away, I think was it 2008? I mean, that was an exceptional performance and probably one of the best individual performances we've ever seen in an All-Ireland final. So, you know, I think those two stand up there. But, you know, let me know in the comments down below what are your sort of best memories of Brian Cody as manager, and certainly from Kilkenny supporters it'd be interesting to see obviously their take on it. But as some of these tweets say here, I mean, I said it in the live reaction after, you know, the news broke that Brian Cody stepped down, that, you know, I think there is a very good comparison between Brian Cody and Alex Ferguson. I think it's definitely there, make no mistake about that. Obviously the longevity of the two, and certainly both can be brutal and cold, but a lot of the time you need to be brutal and cold to be successful. You know, you need to make the tough decisions. You need to make the decisions that, you know, people don't want to hear, or, you know, sometimes maybe won't go down well with the media or everything else. So what an absolute legend. And, you know, in a similar fashion as well to Sir Alex Ferguson when he left Man United, very interesting to see now the man who follows up and the man who succeeds Brian Cody, because as we've seen a lot of the time in sport, not always, but a lot of the time in sport, when a big player or a big manager steps down from a team, the man who succeeds him, you know, it's always a difficult task. So that's going to be very interesting to see. Des Cahill says Brian Cody steps down, 11 All-Ireland senior titles, 11. Yeah, I mean, 11 titles is remarkable, isn't it? You know, we'll never see that again. You know, we just won't. I mean, you know, Jim Gavin maybe looked like he was threatening to maybe do something like that, having won 6 All-Irelands and having won the 5 in a row for Dublin. But generally, obviously, he stepped down and he sort of probably achieved everything he could achieve. But, you know, I just don't think we'll ever see that again. You know, who knows how long John Coyley goes on to manage Limerick, but I don't think we'll see that again. Just 11 is just a remarkable number, let's be honest. Eddie Brennan says there aren't enough words to do the man justice. I got to live a dream and play for Kilkenny. Thank you so much, Brian Cody. Absolutely. And look, Eddie Brennan might very well be the front runner for this Kilkenny job. You know, obviously the job he done with Laois, and he's obviously been heavily involved with Coola over the last couple of seasons as well. So let me know in the comments down below, is Eddie Brennan the pick for the next Kilkenny manager? I mean, he's one of the front runners alongside Derek Ling, so yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Micheál Martin, the Taoiseach himself, says best wishes Brian Cody on your retirement and thanks for your incredible contribution to hurling, an outstanding player and manager with Kilkenny GAA. You brought hurling to new heights, great joy and happiness to many, as well as some heartbreak to others. Absolutely, you know, and certainly as a Dublin fan, he brought plenty of heartbreak to the Dubs down the years, almost too much. Well, it wasn't really heartbreak really, because we weren't really ever that good. But generally speaking, he certainly has brought a lot of heartbreak to rival fans. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, what he's brought to hurling in the game will live long in the memory, you know, and I think you know, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with him next as well. I mean, does he go into punditry maybe? Do we see him on RTE? You know, I think there's certainly going to be a bit of a fight, and there certainly will be the question put out there: is could we see Brian Cody in punditry at Sky or RTE? I mean, he's very quiet, he's very private. He didn't even release a statement himself when he retired. So, you know, today, obviously when he stepped down. So it'll be interesting to know, like, from people watching this, like, what do you lads think? I mean, could Brian Cody could he go into punditry? Or, you know, he's obviously not going to manage another county, or I think his management days at inter-county level are probably done anyway. You know, I think he's, you know, he stepped away after 24 years now. So could he go on to manage at club level? I don't know, but it'd be interesting to see maybe what happens with Cody next. Maybe he, you know, he just retires and, you know, that's it. I think, to be fair, that's probably the most likely. But yeah, it'd be interesting to hear some of your thoughts on that in the comments down below. John Fogarty says there will never be anyone like Brian Cody. He embodied Kilkenny hurling, and Kilkenny hurling embodied him. Absolutely, would completely agree with that. Smaller Fish GA says Brian Cody's last act is to overshadow the football final, a proper hurling man. Yeah, I mean, kind of ironic really. And obviously when the rumours start circulating on Wednesday and Thursday, you're kind of thinking, you know, it'll be interesting to see. I was thinking the news would have broke by yesterday. Like when I didn't hear any news break on Friday, I was kind of thinking, you know, is that rumour true or is it false? Or, you know, sometimes you get these rumours, sometimes that can be entirely false, but sometimes maybe they might have a bit of substance to them. And on this case, it's turned out that they're actually true. So but interesting they break on the Saturday. I think it's good they didn't break on the All-Ireland final. I think trying to cover the All-Ireland final and then this news as well, it just would have been, Jesus, absolutely crazy. But nonetheless, yeah, kind of a bit ironic there, I suppose. Aisling O'Reilly says hurling's most successful manager ever. Brian Cody has stepped down after 24 years. And 11 All-Irelands. Incredible stuff. One of the all-time greats. Jackie Tyrrell says one of the very, very lucky ones to have witnessed Brian Cody up close in action. His passion and love for Kilkenny hurling is unparalleled. Honour to have been managed by the greatest manager ever. Bill Lahart says Brian Cody has been involved as a Kilkenny player and manager in 6 different decades. Wow. A lifetime of service, and the man has given us a lifetime of memories. Thank you, Brian, the greatest hurling man there will ever be. I mean, 6 different decades. I mean, that's 60 years. That's nuts. That's basically his, like, that's an entire lifetime in some ways. Yeah, or 3/4 maybe, or 60, 70% of a lifetime. And he's been involved with Kilkenny as either a player or manager. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Incredible. And again, we will never ever see that again, in my opinion. David Byrne says there will never be a greater hurling manager than Brian Cody. 17 All-Ireland finals in 24 years is just phenomenal. Hurling has changed immensely since he first took over in 1999. Yeah, he adapted and built trophy-winning sides yet again, all while being the great traditionalist he is. Yeah, I mean, his Kilkenny side, certainly in the mid-2000s, very much set the template and, you know, a new style, almost like a football element of Kilkenny, where you start to see the wing-back sort of venturing forward. And I think was it Mick Dempsey maybe who was involved there for a couple of seasons, and obviously he kind of brought very much a bit of a football element to Kilkenny in terms of the style of the way that they were playing. And it was, you know, they're one of the very first early adoptions of teams that, you know, would have your wing backs breaking forward, that would have your you know, your full back and your centre back shooting from way up the field. You know, they were one of the very first sides to adopt that. They drop off on the short puck out and then press up. You know, very interesting sort of watching Kilkenny in those mid 2000s and sort of that side that broke through. And they were the early adopters. They were the first side to really sort of lay down a marker in my lifetime anyway as a big hurling team. And yeah, remarkable. Fintan O'Toole says Brian Cody won 11 All-Irelands, 8 Leinster titles, 10 National League titles in his time as Kilkenny senior manager. Including replays, he managed Kilkenny in 19 All-Ireland senior hurling finals. Truly phenomenal numbers, and certainly they are absolutely remarkable numbers there. Buff Egan says all the best to the iconic Brian Cody, the greatest manager of all time. Hurling will never see the likes again. For all you have done for a great game, thank you.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
That was probably a bad Buff Egan impression there. Certainly will. We might edit that one out, or maybe we might leave it in. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, those have been some Twitter reactions, some discussions, some talking points in regards to Brian Cody stepping down as Kilkenny senior hurling manager. I'd certainly be interested to know your point of view, so let me know in the comments down below. As I've said before, you know, the best GAA manager of all time, the best manager in Gaelic games, period. The GOAT, the greatest of all time, whatever way you want to frame it, Brian Cody is 100% that. Until someone goes and wins 12 All-Irelands, then we need to have a conversation. But I don't think that's going to happen, in my opinion. I don't think we'll ever see a manager win 12 All-Irelands. I don't even think we'll ever see a manager win 10, you know. Unless Jim Gavin comes back, you know. Then maybe we'll have a conversation. But, yeah, let me know your thoughts, your opinions or comments down below. And there will be a live watch along out a little bit later today. Galway and Kerry in the All-Ireland Senior Football Final. We'll be doing a live watch along from 3 p.m. So make sure you join for that one. And yeah, plenty more videos, reaction, podcasts, and all the rest to come. So yeah, my name's Aaron, and I'll see you all later.